Okay, well that's good to know. I was just woken up by one really loud beep. Normally your carbon monoxide detector will beep like 3 or 4 times. But yeah, I can see that it's flashing green every once in a while, and when I try to test it, it does nothing. It beeped once when I pushed this button. So, unfortunately, I didn't write down the month and day. I know the lighting's horrible. I did not write down the month and day that this needed to be, it's upside down, replaced by. But I'm going to replace it today because now I feel like it's not properly working. This is the first carbon monoxide detector that I got. And I think I just replaced the batteries not long ago. But yeah, now I can't get it to beep. I don't know. I'll replace the batteries again and try it out, but I think I'd feel better just replacing it because it probably has been 5 years. So there's also this carbon monoxide detector as well, but this is the one that does not require batteries. Fortunately for me, I did write down the date that this one would need to be replaced, which is 2028. Yeah, it's not nice getting woken up at 5:30 in the morning to a very loud beep, is it, Rory? But, I mean, it's better to get woken up by a beep than to not wake up at all. 11% humidity in here, so you never know. Maybe there was a major lack of oxygen and it went off for that reason, but either way, I've opened more windows, and yeah, I think it's time to replace this, or at least look into how long they last, because it's been 5 years. You know, this is like your standard kind of carbon monoxide alarm. Yeah, I think it's time to replace this. You can never be too safe. Okay, I just got back from buying a brand new carbon monoxide alarm. This one here that went off one long beep through the night, I did try replacing the batteries. These are brand new batteries. And it was still acting kind of funny. You know, I went to test it and I was getting a very quiet beep, like one that you couldn't even hear if you were sleeping. So I don't know if the unit itself, there's something wrong with it. I did notice on this new one that they need to be replaced every 10 years. I know I've had this one for 5 years or less, but hey, I don't want to mess with something like this if I don't really have much faith in it. So I'm going to go ahead and put the batteries in this brand new one and totally replace this other one here. Yeah, so if you live in a space with propane appliances, I highly suggest having at least one of these. I have 2 just to be safe. One that I keep out here and one that I keep in the bedroom. This is the one that I keep in the bedroom. I did just test it and it does like a 4 beep test. Then there's a pause and another 4 beeps, and that's how you know it's working properly. And the other one was not doing that when I tested it. Same thing goes with your smoke detector, honestly. You know, test it every once in a while, change the batteries out every so often. Yeah, it can save your life. Well, this one here even comes with batteries, so that's cool. Just things to mount it on the wall, which I don't think I'm going to do in this case, but well, guess it's working. There we go. That's really loud. The other one, like I said, the one single loud noise it made woke me up through the night, but then when I changed out the batteries, it was being really quiet. So I don't know. I'm going to get rid of this, like I said. Test them and change out the batteries, check them, do what you got to do to make sure they're working. And if you have something like this where it tells you the month and the date that you need to replace it by, fill that out because it'll save you the trouble. I know that this is 5 years old approximately because I got this camper approximately 5 years ago. So now we are good until November 2032. Yeah, I don't think I can stress enough the importance of having one of these. And honestly, maybe even having two of these. Like I said, I have two of them, so that made me a little more comfortable. I had a really hard job falling back asleep this morning after that whole thing happened. Especially being in here, you know, with a wood stove, it gets very warm. There can be oxygen depletion, so you just worry about things like that. I opened the window in the bedroom, so I had a bunch of fresh air coming in, at least in the area that I was breathing. That made me feel a little bit better, but I did have a hard job falling back asleep, and when I did get up, the first thing I did was went out and bought a new one of these. So yeah, super important. Like I said, if you have propane appliances, really important to have one of these. Even if you don't have propane appliances, to be honest, super important to have a carbon monoxide detector. And I know a lot of these campers come with, you know, the carbon monoxide alarm hooked right up. I think I have wires under the sink here for a carbon monoxide alarm, but they were cut when I bought this camper, so I don't know where the alarm would even come from in here. To be honest, I never investigated it, but I just went out and bought these right away and just made sure that I had them available inside here. By the way, we're experiencing a super mild day today. It's sunny and warm. One of the things that really annoys me about the weather here in Nova Scotia is that I had to winterize because we had really cold temperatures, and now all weekend we've had mild, warm temperatures. But what's done is done, and come on March or April. One thing I know I have to do soon is get rid of all these old batteries and these old empty propane bottles. I believe there's a depot at the local dump that I can take these to, but I mean, they really accumulate. These are all like the sensor lights inside the camper. We've got the scooter old battery here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 small propane bottles back here. Yeah, paint cans. Time to get rid of this junk once and for all. Even an old cell phone. Look at this cell phone. This is tiny. I'm on the last row of wood underneath the catio here. And once that's done, then we're going to be taking wood from out of here. But in order to get at that wood, I really, really need to organize this tent shed. Because I have like the smallest space to work with here and not even really a space. This is what happens. I thought this tent shed was huge, and it is huge, but it's just very, very unorganized right now. So at some point I need to get my scooter maybe over here out of the way, and then organize this stuff and kind of keep it over here against the side. Random little update here. It's around supper time, 5 o'clock, 6 degrees Celsius, 29 in here. I'm cooking some Carolina style meatballs with some sauce. And apparently the temperature is supposed to go up to 12 degrees outside overnight. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's the last day of November. Before bedtime, I'm just going to let the fire go out and I'll be fine without one, I guess. 12 outside, it'll be a lot warmer in here. Phew, but I can tell you right now, that stove is going. Ramsey is always a pretty good indication of how warm it is in here. When he's laying pretty much with his belly exposed, then you know it's warm. Got the door open. It is now 30 degrees Celsius in here. When you're cooking, you got the oven on. Yeah, it gets warm in here pretty quickly. I probably don't even need a fire right now, to be honest with you, but anyway, Carolina style meatballs, if you guys are interested, if they look good to you, because they are one of my favorite meals. And this is just a recipe I got online. Carolina barbecue meatballs, low carb and gluten free. Something worth Googling if this appeals to you. It is one of my favorite meals and they are delicious, in my opinion. Whew! Find it hot in here, Ramsey? Yeah, I gotta step outside. It's too warm in here. It just keeps getting hotter in here. That's the problem with having a big wood stove in a small space and then you add cooking on top of it. It's just, this thing needs batteries. 31. Whew. 6 outside. It's only gonna go up. Just heating some water up to help get rid of the stuff stuck to the bottom of the pan. This surprisingly makes such a huge difference. I'm curious to know too how many of you prefer to use propane cooking over an electric stove, because pretty much since I got this camper, I don't think I could ever go back to electric. It just takes way too long. I just lit this and I mean it's boiling already, so cooking is just so much faster on propane, and I don't know, in my opinion that makes it better, but let me know in the comments below. Supper with a beverage never hurt anybody. Voila, supper is served. I did cheat a little bit. La Microwave helped me out with the rice and the corn, but I did make the meatballs, so that counts for something, right? There are days where we just can't do it all. Rory, are you happy? Okay. You look like Salem from Bewitched.